studied children ages 5, right? Where to see, we can get them some tasks and ask them to use their creative thinking to solve these tasks. Now, based on their performance and the response that they got, they stated that at that time, over 80% of that group, right, acted and gave responses that you could label them as geniuses. But just 5 years after, that number greatly declined from the 90s or high 80s to just about 60 something percent, 62%. All right, if I'm not mistaken. Now, the number further decreased when they got to high school to just under 20 something percent. By the time they were adults and they were in university, less than 5% of them, answered questions, solved tasks, and were, in quotes, rated as geniuses. And then the question was, why did the numbers reduce throughout the course of a lifetime? Well, some say it's because of the type of education that they got. It has not led us to where we are these days, where people are talking about, rather than teaching people facts and figures and asking them to memorize long quotes and all of that, we should be focusing on critical thinking, how we can promote critical thinking to solve problems that are peculiar to our environment. So now, guys, please look around you. Ask yourself this question. Are our lecturers as rigid as they were before? Do you think that they have improved in recent times? And I mean all around, from the lecturers that we knew and we heard of, who used to extort money, who used to make you buy handouts, if not you don't pass, who used to harass women and men as well, and who used to make you feel that the education that are given to you is more valuable than your life, and they hold the key to your success. I haven't been to a university in a few years, so I cannot tell you that I have heard any lecturer say, you cannot pass my exam, or even act that way. Maybe they have changed. For those of you who are in school, or those of you who have friends and families in school, this is just right up your alley.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
So 017-923-0002, 017-923-0003, 017-923-0002, 017-923-0003, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH, all right, is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X. And our WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809-030-6416. Zion is on the line. Zion is speaking to us from GRA. Zion, greetings, please.
Thank you for this discourse. You don't know the implication of it yet, but before the end of this discourse, you will know better. The problem is that the issue of wealth have been redefined. Initially, it was go to school, get a good job, read your books, that is how you can be recommended. But today, we have broken all those processes. All what we do is just get the money. Just get the money. That's all. That is why if you go to some communities today, their paramount rulers are former kidnappers and robbers. Because they have money, they are now paramount rulers. So what do you expect the next generation to do? What's the essence of reading books? Go to universities today. The reason they are there is just to bear and show you that thing that, look, I've been to school. I have the certificate. Not that the certificate has anything to provide for them. And the lecturers and the teachers are our problem.
You don't think there have been improvements, particularly in the past 5 years of people?
No, sir. It has declined.
Huh.
Educationally, it has declined. Hello. Let brave boys come sit near a corner. Never let captain sit all alone. You know, I just told you now. You know. My very eyes may just sat under and watched the very beautiful of Venus. I just told you something.
Yeah, those are mnemonics for remembering certain things.
Exactly. God bless you. God bless you. So put up I'm speaking in tongues, right? But a mnemonics to remind you of something, the first 20 elements. As chemistry students. The second was to tell you about the 9 planets. Mr. Nanja, look at it. How many of our today children know about all this? It narrows down to the kind of people who will engage as teachers and lecturers.
So let me ask you this question. Now, you know, this is 2024. Back in 2019, 2020, particularly after that lockdown, remember there was this very bad scandal in Nigeria, the sex for grade scandal that the whole world eventually got to know about, very sadly, I have to admit. All right. And then everybody started talking, oh, there's a lecturer in my school. He used to do this, he used to do that. He told us that nobody will pass. But now, your friends and families, do they still tell you of those stories?
They won't tell you. You know why? Because everybody is not interested in that. See, now this question, let me just say something a little bit about me. It's fast now. I used to be a machine. I write exams for people.
Oh, that's what you mean. I was scared.
UST, even your university at Uniben, they pay hotels for me. The Uniport home that happened, when we started that exams, the first 30 minutes, I was the only one writing. The lecturer came to me direct. It was in Jonathan Halls or whatever, one of those your general halls. He said, you are not my student, stand up. I said, I'm your student. He said, you are not my student, stand up with your question paper. I was telling him my math number, everything. It's all lies. He said, you know why? I want these students to fail. He was explicit. I want them to fail. You are the only one writing. We check about 5 questions. You know why? I want to attend to other students so I can make more money and go home. Jude, what does that tell you? The lecturers gave a dimension of knowledge to our people.
But that was then. That was your time. You're talking about more than 15 years ago.
What happened to us? This is the seed we are sowing now. This is the effect of that nonsense that we are told then. You read to you read to know and you sought to pass.
Wow.
What I need is pass. Let me sort and pass. I don't have time. That is why you see a student girl, she is going what they call hook up and run just to sort. And you that is reading your own before I leave the floor, sir, for the past 10 years, one student should call that he contested his result because they gave him a fail. He contested it and let him tell you the process is right. We need to go back to the foundation and the structures and get it right. Whereby compensation are given based on merit. A lot of graduates are in the society now, no job, but people carry guns and they give them amnesty. A man that knows the culture and the tradition and is committed community were not given paramount ruler. Somebody that have kidnapped, killed people, they gave him amnesty to become a king. What do you expect others to do? No need to read now. Bible carry God gospel, God give us money. You see this millennium bug, a lot of us never knew what they meant about approaching to year 2000. I guess you now welcome millennium bug. People thought it was a virus that will attack computers, but the virus will attack our brains.
Wow.
Today, a lot of brains are corrupt. Mr. Zion.
Okay, all right. Jefferson here says, "Hi, G, good morning. I cannot speak for every university, but I like to say that there is a sign that there are improvements. As more lecturers now know that they're being scrutinized, you have phones everywhere. People are recording, and people will carry confirmations or rumors about you. So maybe they have changed, but are people more trusting of our lecturers? I cannot say." Jefferson. This one here is from anonymous. Says, "I look around, even online, and I truly fear for the world because of what I'm seeing in the educational sector. Some of these people who are not being taught properly, who are more interested in speaking in slangs than in learning, will be the medical doctors and surgeons of tomorrow and will be entrusted with people's lives. I am genuinely scared."
The show continues after this break on Nigeria Info.
Are you a self-employed artisan, accountant, lawyer, mechanic, tailor, marketer?
I'm asking a very direct question. Do you think that Nigerian lecturers have improved in recent times? It's a very... We're looking at the modern teaching in Nigerian universities, right? This is not longer 2000 or 2010 when we're in school. You know, this is 2024. 12 or 13 years after I've left school. In that time, we've heard a lot of complaints about the Nigerian lecturer. Oh, some of them are bullies. Oh, some of them are masochists. Oh, some of them are misogynists. Oh, some of them are too traditional. I once had a female friend who said in her school that the lecturer would not answer the greeting of a student, a female student, if she did not bend down well to greet him. So it wasn't enough to just say good afternoon, sir. You have to go low, like almost bow. And he was, did they teach you people, manners in school, in your primary school, your parents, this is how you greet your father in your house, stuff like that. And then we've heard that some of the lecturers are also fantastic human beings. Some of them are great. Some of them have helped forge democracy. In fact, in the past 2 election cycles, we've had, if not 3 election cycles, we've had, lecturers, vice chancellors of universities, playing very key roles in our democracy. And some will say, long may it continue. But there are also critics. And we're going to hear about some of those things very shortly. WhatsApp 0809 6416 0809 6416. Mr. Isoboye says, good morning, Jude. It is pathetic that we live in a nation where a professor of a university will rig an election for a politician and complain about being underpaid, and punish a student for examination malpractice and even expel the student. I wonder who is fooling who in our country. Right now, in our country, nobody can actually be looked up to as a role model. Things are getting worse by the day. Basically, don't you think young people look up to you? I don't know what business you are involved in, but don't you think you are an inspiration? You are an inspiration to somebody? Yes, maybe an overgeneralization is what's being played out here, but then not all lecturers fit into this mode, or this this mode exactly that you've just described. Once again, particularly in recent years. So in recent years, I'm saying from 2022 downwards, you've seen universities, champion the fight against lecturer harassment, whether it was sexual or overt or it was very direct. You've seen it play out. So, can't you say that there have been improvements? Can't we? Okonkwo is on the line. Let's just quickly say hello to Okonkwo before we go for the headline news. Okonkwo, good morning, please.
Good morning, Bro Jude.
Good morning.
But we have had many great politicians in the nation. Yes. But I've not seen any great achievement that they have made. No one was able to give us uninterruptible power supply. No one that was able to give us a steady functioning refinery. No one was able to build and set up companies, factories and industries in the whole country. No one that has been able to cause Nigeria to become a producing nation instead of being a consuming nation. Brother Jude, and so on and so forth. So how are we to call them great politicians?
No, what about even the lecturers now? Do you think they've been improving in recent years?
Which people?
The lecturers, not even politicians, lecturers, university lecturers.
Okay, well, the issue is that they would have improved, but government does not fund them well and take care of them.
Aha.
If we are getting close to the lecturers, you see them complaining of even not having sufficient food and other facilities of life to take care of themselves and their children and wives.
Okay.
So that is where, if they were to have been funded well,
would have seen
they would have done well.
Okay, all right. Headline news coming up right here on 92.3 Nigeriainfo. the way they pass on the knowledge that they have gleaned over the years, do you think that the students in schools now have a more positive, I'm not saying it's perfect, and nobody's saying all the lecturers in Nigeria are now like their contemporaries in Canada, in US, or maybe even Ghana, or maybe even in Botswana, because the quality of education I hear from Botswana is pretty good. But anyway, that's not enough to say, yes, that people should either rest on their oars or they should stop. The question is, owing to the reports over the years, the stories that many a Nigerian graduate, right, have had from lecturers saying, you cannot pass my exam, you're not smart enough, or if you don't buy my handout, what will you do? Or, I like you, I want you to like me back. If you do me well, I will do you well. And there are so many other instances. Some have even complained of some lecturers who were really rude. You couldn't approach them. Excuse me, sir, please. I didn't understand what you just said today. I didn't do that. I didn't do this. I tried, but what? I don't understand. Can we go through? Some will tell you that could never happen. But I'm saying this from a neutral standpoint. I have heard that some students in Nigeria today now have that opportunity. Some people are emailing their lecturers. And no, not in privately funded schools. I'm talking about in public universities. Some people email their lecturers, sir. Some people even go to their lecturers' houses, not at night, but they go in a group. And I've heard that the lecturers, okay, since all of you are here, you people say you don't understand it. Okay, so let's do this. And when we do this, I have about 20 minutes or 40 minutes. Some people are actually telling stories, good stories of great impactors of knowledge. Yes, you may say maybe it's just a drop in the ocean, but is there a change? Is there a perception of a change? 017-923-0002, 017-923-0007. Those are the numbers that you can use to call us and have a conversation with us. You get to have a call screener, so please, if you do not hear my voice, do not be discouraged. Just have your name dropped or collected, and then we'll have you join us in the studio. All right, you get patched through to the computer in front of me. WhatsApp is 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. That's where you find us on WhatsApp and on Telegram. All right, so let's get to read some messages. There was a drop call scenario a few moments ago. Good morning, Jude. This one here says, before, when lecturers say you can't get an A, it was because there was no monitoring of their activities. Now, different measures are put in place to checkmate their results. In my school, before I graduated, the department meets to review results before they are forwarded to the faculty. And if nobody gets an A, you might be queried. So of recent, lecturers have come up with a new pattern called balancing. Results are balanced to satisfy the department, which is sometimes bad to the detriment of the students. Example, if an exam takes place and there is no A, people that got a B would be moved to A. Meanwhile, if many people get an A, some will be moved to B. Same pattern goes for the E's and the F's. The new rule is results must be balanced to reflect all the grades. Really? So what if genuinely all the participants or majority of the students or participants of that particular examination merited the A? What if they all got? What if in a class of, let's say, 150 students, what if 55 all scored 90 and above? You won't give them an A? Dude, I don't think so. They're still using 19th century method to teach students. They don't go for research. They don't write no books. Lecturers in Gaza are better than our own here, really. They are only good at going to the television and radio to solve national problems, yet they can't solve faculty problems. What research have the Nigerian universities done on HIV or cancer? Ernest from Woji. Well, I can answer that last bit, Ernest, because I knew some doctors who were actively researching, on the HIV and AIDS scourge, and even cancer. I know of HIV here in Port Harcourt, and this was at least a decade ago. So yes, there were some researchers. You could argue that they were not properly funded, but yes, some of these lecturers were working. Now, Confidence from a Chase says, there is no improvement, my brother. I was surprised the type of graduates these lecturers produce. My God, he says. All right, thank you very much. Now, the ratio of good lecturers in universities is like 1 to 4. For every one good lecturer, you will manage to see there are like 3 or 4 bad lecturers causing harm one way or the other. It's only God that will help us. This person sounds like a lecturer. But why though? Why do you think they are not improving? Once again, I'm not saying whatever inappropriate action or activities that used to go on have ceased. No, I'm asking if there have been improvements, because we read in the papers of erring lecturers being fired, being suspended, in some cases even being incarcerated. So that means the universities are doing something. Society is responding. It's no longer reacting. There are responses towards substandard lecturers, or maybe lecturers who are carrying a very heavy block over their shoulder over something. So something is happening, or isn't it? Or maybe the gains of these universities over the years haven't started to be noticed. Maybe that's what it is. Right? Maybe that's what it is. Now on Facebook, all right, at Nigeriainfo page, All right, Jude. It is so sad that most lecturers who are meant, this is on Facebook by the way, who are meant to act as guardians to their students have turned to pant hunters. Wow, good luck. I didn't expect to read that. Really? It's a very interesting way of putting it. Hector Chris on Facebook says, the lectures have not improved. Even for those of them who are trying to improve, the foundations are not there. Theories, so all that they give. As for the students, all what they know is just get the paper and leave. But why would you though? Why would you? I'll say this later. Let me just read some. Let me read some more messages, please. This one here says, in my school, this is Uniport. It's excellent. They have put in good measures to make sure all lecturers abide by the ethics of the profession. Lecturers in Uniport really can easily be accessed. I will read University of Port Harcourt 98. Michael. Oh, good to hear. 90.3, good morning, please. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah. Morning.
Good morning.
This is Mr. Court, calling from Juba.
Welcome, Court.
Jude, I am aware that almost every lecturers now are authors of textbook that they don't have right to publish. And they publish it, and they force students to buy. Textbook you find in only one university, you don't find it in another university. If the lecturer should set an exam that textbook, and the student can arise and passes that exam, is that really pass the exam? Because you know that this textbook is not recognized anywhere. You have really pass the exam?
But do they still do that to the best of your knowledge, Court? Do they still do that? I heard they still do that.
And none of them have right to set that, publish those textbooks as fair to any student at all. Who made the authors? Who provide those textbooks? So if you take exam through that textbook and the students pass, a textbook that they cannot find anywhere in Nigeria except at a particular university. If that child pass exam, that is a problem in Nigeria. Thank you, my brother.
All right, thank you very much. Court doesn't think that there have been any improvements. All right, at the moment. All right, we have just about 10 minutes before we say our goodbyes this morning. But more comments here. Interesting. This one here says, Jude, for private universities, I think is much better than public universities. At least in private universities, you can not only just report, they have a smaller number of students to cater to. So the productivity of the teacher is going to be much better than in our public schools. I went to a public school where in one class, we were as much as 500 in one class. 500 in one class. I know that used to be the story of Nigeria back then, but is that still the same? I know there was a system that was adopted when I was in school. Rather than having everybody, jumbled up in one class, we used to have turns. So I think it was for the GS courses. So maybe on Monday, those who are in human sciences or life sciences will attend the class. Then on Tuesday, those who are in engineering or education will attend the class. So that way the numbers were reduced. But 500 Yautzas. What am I saying? What did Ofrima MBA 1? Didn't he used to hold up to that number? Well, I know LT 500 in Uniben. Yes. Hence the name LT 500. Right? Anele is speaking to us from location. Anele, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jude. How's everything?
Very well. I trust you're well as well.
Yes.
Good.
The issue now, let me say something.
Yes, please.
That the lecturers are not trying at all.
You sure?
Yes. I have a sad experience. Among my children, the last one, the other four have graduated. It was the last to graduate. But as soon as he came back, I discovered that he was not meeting very well with his siblings. At times he was keeping aloof. At times he go to the balcony to lean there, looking into infinity. I suppose that this was something is wrong with him. So one day he went to the balcony, facing about road. From my bedroom, met him there. I thought him, I said, I know you have a problem. The way I behave, there's something wrong. What is the problem? Confide in me, I'm your father.
Oh.
You know what he told me?
What did he say?
He said, Daddy, I did not see my paper, one of my papers. So what? He said, I did not see one of my papers. What happened? He said the lecturer showed textbooks, which he felt he could do with or without the textbook, that he passed the course. But at the end, his script was not even marked, let alone that he failed. It was not seen at all. This thing kept him melancholic as he came back. Well, I had no way to narrate it to me until I bashed on him. What is wrong? I blamed him. Why did you buy the textbook? He said that they are afraid that I could pass the text without the textbook.
Yeah.
So now you have been paying while thankful is more. You see the problem is cost. Now, you are going to go second missionary journey. You are going to pay fresh school fees. Fees. And look at the problem because after you had the money, I gave you the money for the examination for your school. He said, Daddy, I never saw it to be like this. But share up. Don't worry yourself. You go up, going to go and register. Feel free. Don't have anything in your money. I'm your father. You go back and I will pay. Based on the vote shared out. I'm ready to meet up with the siblings, in the heart. You see, this is the university, which is a certificate of learning of everything. Excellent. As somebody said in the past, university professors will come out, give fake result, to balance to favor somebody who did not do well. He's not around to complain that he's not being paid his
salary
and the emolument. That is Nigeria. Things have gone out totally bad. Thank you very much.
Cool. So thank you very much. And thank you for at least observing your son. I think you did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Lecturers only improve on ASU Strike Daily. Teaching zero, books zero. You see them quoting Plato and Socrates. Have you seen them going on radio stations to promote the books that they wrote? They only write on newspapers so that the politicians can see their names. NS from Woji. NS is not particularly happy at lecturers. Wow. Okay. Now, laughing out loud, the person rating report lecturers 90% is not a student, I beg. A student who has or is passing through that system can't give such a high rating. I just graduated and I know what I am saying. Interesting. Jude, I have a cousin who is a lecturer and he told me that most male lecturers are not too happy with their pay. Also, the male lecturers are carrying hungry male organs and looking for female victims. Elliot from Choba. Wow. Interesting. Okay, now the situation has virtually changed. This is a message on WhatsApp. AB. Before now, lecturers own individual courses. Lecturers give out handouts. But today, 2 to 4 lecturers each teach one course. So there is no more room for impunity. Most universities have banned the sale of handouts, but for books. There are stringent laws now checkmating them, and they are now punished by sacking or demotion. Again, most students have known their rights. Sounds good. Have known their rights and can be vocal. Both the students and the lecturers are more careful in committing crimes. Both students that harass lecturers and the lecturers that harass students know that their names can be published both on print and audio medias. Now, it is in as much as we criticize them, most of them are very, very good. Just like in any other profession. Presently, I can score Uniport 95%. I bet you. That's AB from Rumekini. Okay. That's one way to look at it. There have been improvements. Like I said, the universities, University of Ibadan comes to mind. Also Unilag, Uniport, Ignatius Ajuru, RSU. At one point in time, within the past 3 or 4 years, have made the news either for some investigation or some punitive measure, for an erring lecturer. So it may be that there is an improvement, but maybe not as large scale as Nigerians would want them to be. But like I said, only you will tell us. And maybe when we revisit this conversation, maybe in another 6 months or so, maybe we'll be able to say, yes, there are very evident changes. And if you are listening as a wrap-up, as a lecturer, please, there's only one thing that can make that change, and that's if you make the change yourself. Don't forget, you are not just collecting salary, you are impacting and hopefully imparting something good and meaningful into the lives of the students. Even if they're at 25 years old, you can still make a difference. All right, so follow us at Nigeriainfo PH on Facebook and X. Get your content, get your reports, get your conversations right every single day here on 92.3 Nigeriainfo. You can also follow me, Jude Samuel, on Mamigbe. That'll be on Facebook and on Instagram. And then for X, on Mamigbe Jude. Do have yourself a wonderful day, and I do hope improvements are on the way. As for me, I'm making this soup today, so fingers crossed. I'll tell you all about it tomorrow.
Are you up to date with our